What's going on YouTube? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin. We're also going to get in some altcoins. Right now Bitcoin's sitting at 23,483. There are a few things that I want to point out, both bullish and bearish to you today, and that's what I wanted to get into. We're going to work through some of the time frames, but I also want to get in some altcoins. So we're going to get right to this, guys. If you get something from these videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll dig into this. So first of all, what I want to point out is here, this is on the daily time frame, and if we zoom in and we take a look at these candles here over the last 3 or 4 days, we have a spinning top candle right up here, and that was roughly around, we ended up waking up to around 24,278. So that's a candle we want to pay attention to. So whenever you see these things after big directional moves like that, it could be a local top. So what you want to do is take a more defensive position, okay, in terms of using those trailing stop losses or being prepared if we do have some type of a dip, if you're a longer term investor, to where you could buy that dip at areas that you feel like we could maybe get a good deal on Bitcoin, Ethereum, some of these other altcoins, so you're not chasing the market. So you want to be careful when you start seeing these spinning tops up here. And you can also see how we've had about 3 or 4 wicks now where we tried to push up past that 24,300, 24,400, we'll call it. We have not been able to get up through that. So it's kind of been feeling it out, but we haven't got through it yet. Okay, so the volatility stop now on the 1-day time frame that's calculated by TradingView would be at 21,801. And you can see these green dots right here. So that's basically saying that if we drop down through that area, most likely then we could go down to our next major support area of 19,710 would be an area I'd look. Then it'd be down around that 50 moving average at 18,733. Could we get there? Absolutely. These dips, guys, when they happen, they're very fast and they're very aggressive. So you have to be ready if you're going to be buying those dips. So just like this one here, in the matter of 3 days, we went down 17%. Then we got a nice bounce to the upside. The next one that we ended up having was about 12%. What I like to do is go through and kind of map these out. Then we'll go up to this one and see how low we went. We went down to about 9%. So could we go lower down in this area? Absolutely, and be prepared for that. But is it also something to where we could just move sideways and we get that next leg up as we're continuously cooling down the RSI here, which is now at 69, as opposed to previously got up into the 80s. So cooling everything down so it can make that next directional move is what you're looking for. But right now, in terms of longer term investing, when you sit back and you look at this, we're up above the 20, the 50, the 100, and the 200. That's beautiful. That's exactly what you want to see in uptrends. And typically we have held this 20 EMA on the 1-day time frame. So really watch out for that. We traded below it for about a day and a half here, and then we got back up above it again. So if we do start breaking down through that 20, I would look for some lower levels, see if we could find some good support. But roughly as we work our way up, support 19,710, then it'd be at 22,324. Overhead resistance, we're going to look at 24,471, and the RSI right now is at 69. Just do a little recap for you there. So just keep an eye on these things up in this area here. You know, candles may just get tight and we consolidate and then make that directional move, or it could be a sign of that local top and we need a little bit more retracement, maybe go back and test that previous all-time high that we broke out through. So just be prepared for these things, guys. That's all I'm telling you. Have a plan for the upside, the downside, and the sideways, okay? Next, we're going to move into Ethereum. Take a look at ETH, and a lot of the altcoins bleeding out pretty decent right now. So for Ethereum, we're back to 609, 610. Right in that area. Main thing we're looking at here is to see if we can stay in this channel. So you see in purple, we have this lower trend line, then we have this upper trend line here. So we want to continue to try to hold that as well as this 20 EMA. So the candle closed today, if we zoom in here for you, see this 20 EMA, we want to close up above that and have support on that. If we don't, then we're going to look to this lower trend line. If that doesn't hold, then we're going to be looking down to roughly about $551 if we make a downside move. Now, if we can hold this, and this is our support, we look up to the top now of this channel, and that could be up around $700. We've had some decent selling pressure today. We're about average right now with still, say, roughly another 3-4 hours to go. So keep an eye on this. The volatility stop is at 587 right now, and the RSI is at 53. So if this is the area where we can find some nice support here, the RSI is not in that overbought condition, anything, we could make that next move out of here. So just be prepared for that. If you're a longer term investor and we drop down even lower into some of these areas, you know, and you want to accumulate, that's what you're looking for. And you have that opportunity in this space because the moves to the downside can be so harsh. I mean, you can see in 3 days here, guys, we can lose 20%. It happens all the time. And then in the next 3 days, you can make it right back up. So it's something you don't really want to panic with. Just look for those good opportunities and stay calm. So, you know, say we get another dump down into here, look at it as an opportunity. That's the best way you can look at it, because we're still in that bull market. We're in that uptrend on the 1 day time frame, up above all these critical areas, the 20, the 50, 100, and 200 right now. If we take a look at Ethereum on the technicals from TradingView, we have a 7 sell, 9 neutral, and a 12 buy. Oscillators, 1 sell, 8 neutral, and a 2 buy is what we're looking at there. So that's going to be Ethereum. Next one we're going to get into is Litecoin. Let me know if you're here for Litecoin as well. Litecoin, we really need to watch Bitcoin. It's an oscillator of Bitcoin. You know, when Bitcoin goes up, Litecoin most likely is going to go higher in percentage gains, and then to the downside, same concept. When Bitcoin dumps, Litecoin's going to dump a little bit harder. So Litecoin's still trading up above it. 20 EMA, the 50, the 100, and the 200 still up above our purple trend line here. We're trying to hold support at roughly 101.45. If we can hold support there, we need to get back up above 114.86. Then it'd be up to around that 124.86 are going to be the overhead resistance areas. RSI 58, you can see we're losing that strength down through here. We did have some heavy selling pressure today, so I want you to be aware of that. Could we go back down even to around that, let's turn this green here, even to around 91.48? Absolutely. So just be prepared for those things, guys. And we've even looked at that 50 at 82.59. This is how this game works. After explosive moves, many times the market has to consolidate, or it has to retrace, it has to breathe before we get going again. Okay, so just like we talked about, look at it as opportunities, but be aware of these things as well if you're a shorter term trader. Okay, so that's going to be Litecoin. Next one we're going to get into, and let me know if you're here for Litecoin. Let's see. I know people have been asking about Dash. Dash is at 96 right now. So Dash, we have broken down through our 20 EMA. So if we have a candle close today below that, we would look down to this 50 now and try to hold that, and that's going to be at 94.07. Then be down to around $89.44 are going to be the downside support areas that we would be looking at, where the buyers have stepped in before. If we can make a nice move to the upside, we got to get over $100 again psychologically. I would like to see us hold that today, and then it'd be up to around 108. But typically you can see with these long wicks here, guys, like we talk about, I'm always talking about wicks. When you get those long wicks, then the sell-off a lot of the times will happen. So always keep an eye on that. Main thing is we want to stay up above this previous low that we put in, and that was around $88. See if we can stay up above that, hold it as support. RSI is at 46, so we have cooled down. We're going to see if we get some buying pressure around this 50 here. So that's going to be Dash. Keep an eye on those areas. Let's see here as we go down through, take a look at Link. Link's breaking down through support at $11.97. If we do lose that, we're going to look down to $11.25, then down around this 200 moving average, which we really need to hold. We would not want to start dropping down below that and having daily candle closes below that. Long-term investors are looking at that 200 moving average. So if we do end up losing the area we're at now, we're going to look down to that at $10.51. If we start moving back to the upside, we got to get up above 1301. Is going to be the area. RSI at 41, so we still could get pushed down a little bit farther. So we want to be aware of that as the day continues, just due to the fact we still have a little bit more room on that RSI before we get into that oversold territory. So just be aware of that, guys. You know, this market's crazy, can turn around at any point. Just be prepared for anything. You know, we're just going to look at price action and look at support and resistances the best we can, and the oscillators and the candlesticks, but anything can happen in this space at any time. Always be aware of that. Okay, so that's going to be Link. Let's take a look at Tezos here, getting beat up pretty good. It's at $2 right now. Let's take a look at this. So main area we're going to want to hold as support is going to be about 188. That's a key area for us for Tezos. So we need to hold that one. We're below all of our moving averages now. So we need to be aware of that. Our 20, 50, 100, and 200. We are trading below. RSI is at 37. So we could get milked a little bit more, maybe even down to that 188. Maybe a hair lower than that, just due, like we talked about, to this RSI. And then we'll see if we can get that bounce, that little reaction out of there, and start looking at some higher levels. And we'd have to get up above about $2.18 is going to be the area. And you can see it's been a long road here for Tezos. This has been our downtrend, and then we changed that trend. We got that higher low, came up to $3, and then we just started getting milked again. So just keep an eye on these areas, guys. Let's see. there's a lot of good things happening for Tezos. So, you know, if you're a longer term investor, I wouldn't be too discouraged. You know, you can even look at it, not financial advice. If this keeps going lower, look at it as a buying opportunity. Let's see here. ETC's at $5.37. See here, Doge. Makers at 519. We'll take a look at Digibyte. Digibyte could be breaking down today, having a candle close below this 200. So really keep an eye on that, guys. Got to be aware of that stuff, because after that happens, you can get those big sell-offs. Doesn't always happen, but when it happens, it can be violent. So just be prepared there. We'd look for support at 0.01941 is going to be the area, and then it'd be down to around that 0.01867. Those are going to be the support areas. Overhead resistance, we'd have to get back up through 0.02327. RSI right now, we're sitting at about 45. And that's why it's so tricky, because there's still so much room that you could have to the downside. If we want to go a little bit lower, we're not in that oversold condition yet. Okay, always pay attention to those things, just like when you see really long wicks at the top and the RSI's up high, you know, at 90 or whatever, and it's in that overbought condition. That can be a sign. Maybe take some profits or use one of those trailing stop losses, some of those things, guys. But if you get some from this, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. God bless you all. Take care, my friends.